Hello, and welcome back. I'm Wally Cronkite. As you may recall from our last episode of 2030, the top executives of global health were desperately trying to save the corporation. Let's go over to Paula Sawyer, who is joined today by the Chief Executive Officer of Global Health, Mr. Rockstar.
Thank you so much, Wally. And welcome to all of the viewers. As Wally shared, we are joined today by Mr. Rockstar, CEO of Global Health. It is a pleasure to see you again, Rock.
Great to be seen, because life is a mere dream, fleeting shadow on a cloudy day.
Okay, Rock, everyone wants to know the outcome of your board meeting last week.
I thought you said you weren't going to ask me about that.
No, I said I wouldn't ask about why you always mix metaphors. This is 2030 after all. We want to expose the truth. So?
Bottom line, Rock hit rock bottom. It was a bicycle ride downhill.
You're kidding. What happened?
Try as I might, I could never get my team on the same page. We were all over the place in terms of what was important.
Really? Tell me more.
I could never align our business priorities or get agreement on our most pressing business problems.
How did that make you feel?
Not sure, but we were feeling the pressure to get a business plan done and made a bunch of assumptions based on nothing more than intuition. That did little more than produce a long list of generic requirements.
Doesn't sound like you thought the time spent was well spent.
You got it. We ended up spending our time chasing our tails instead of framing our strategic initiatives in a clear and compelling way.
As is customary on 2030, Rock, we've invited specialists to get to the hidden truth behind your situation. But before we introduce them, let's take a quick look at the planning session in question.
As I have been saying to everyone in the company over the past 3 months, our plan must be innovative and decisive. Today is about getting the senior leadership in this boardroom on the same page.
Well, Rock, looks like you were trying to get your team aligned. Let's see how well that worked out.
I understand that everyone is working harder than ever. Bottom line is our top line. We will not save our way to growth.
Maybe we need to relook at our value proposition and make it easier for everyone to understand and want to do business with us.
You know, I've always said, provide a value proposition that nobody can resist. While we're at it, we need a better elevator pitch. Something clever that is 30 seconds or less. I've always said, A, B, C. Always be closing. You know, something that stops prospects and customers dead in their path. Something to make them want to buy from us.
How about silver bullets at the price of copper?
If I might interrupt again. Does anyone else feel like we are in a time warp back to last year at this time? Show of hands.
Wow, Rock. I can see where you fell off the cliff. Let's see what our experts from Knowledge Advantage have to say. Dave and Reggie, welcome to you both.
Great to be here.
Yes, thanks for inviting us.
Guys, to my naked eye, this meeting was a mess. What are your observations?
Clearly Rock is in a hard place. Sorry, had to say it.
But Rock, be assured you are not alone. Business, marketing, and sales executives, like you, struggle to gain agreement on their top priorities every day. Despite their best intentions, both critical requirements and success criteria go undefined for thousands of organizations every day.
Why is that?
Well, it's certainly not because they lack hard work. In fact, they are working too hard. Paula, they just lack your naked eye.
I don't get it. What do you mean?
I mean, they lack a means for stripping situations to make priorities, requirements, and criteria apparent. In effect, their naked eyes are covered. Their vision is blurred. Worse yet, without the standard for, if you will, getting naked, they, at best, have one-off success, but that just isn't sustainable, nor is it profitable over time.
So, please, tell me more about these standards.
Standard, in this context, means common vocabulary, common frameworks, common visual aids, and so on. Adding collaborative technology to bring them to life helps increase ease and speed. No different than standards we use in other aspects of business.
For example, We use QuickBooks for accounting. Are you suggesting an equivalent platform to help executives formulate, execute, and collaborate with plans? If so, Rock wants to roll with that system.
You got it, Rock. But don't pull out your wallet just yet. You see, technology is wonderful, but it's just an enablement tool. This standard is about business acumen, methods, then tools.
We're a talented group. Plus, we had one of the best consultant firms in the industry helping us.
I don't want to, rock the boat too much, but I have to say, in light of your struggles, it appears that you paid for someone to simply expose your problems, but not resolve them. They left you no platform to build upon, only a pile of, well, rocks.
Rock, I think Dave is saying a platform built with standards, then enabled with technology, not only solves today's problem, but tomorrow's as well.
Rock, I know you're a fan of metaphors and analogies, so here's one for you. Give a man a fish and feed him for a day. Teach a man to fish and feed him for a lifetime.
One of my favorites.
Seems pretty clear to me. And Wally, it also seems like a great lead into our next segment.
You're absolutely right, Paula. That was an interesting look at internal chaos encountered by executives every day. And it looks like standards represent a real opportunity for those guys. Fascinating. But of course, at 2030 we know the truth always comes in two versions. Next, Paula takes a look at how the double-edged sword of chaos affects Mike, our intrepid salesman from Faster Than Light Solutions, as he prepared to provide services to Rock's organization, Global Health. First, let's take a look back.
Who helped Jerry write the RFP?
I asked, but he was a bit vague with his answer. Sue and I are guessing a consultant was involved. Why does it matter?
Well, that's funny. I kept thinking I had read that RFP before. Okay, let's switch gears. What's the compelling event driving the RFP?
I asked that also. Jerry said his senior leadership is asking everyone to step up with innovative and decisive ways to change the game in their industry.
What exactly does that mean?
Okay, that was awkward, but welcome to the show, Mike.
Thanks, Paula. Hi, guys. I have to admit, that wasn't one of my finer moments.
You have been listening to our discussion. What are your thoughts on what you heard?
Well, I now get why my 7-digit deal went up in smoke. Talk about an avalanche. No offense, Mr. Rock. And by the way, when this is done, if we can get 60 seconds in the elevator, I'd love to talk to you about my firm's capabilities.
You thought you had that deal in the bag even after tough questions from your internal team. Why is that?
Great question, Paula. You see, I spent 12 months developing a great relationship with Jerry over at Global Health. Lunches, a few ball games, we really got to know one another on a personal level. So, when he told me they needed an alternative to their current provider, and that we were a natural fit, that gave me a ton of confidence that we would win that business.
Did he indicate you were favored? Or even a finalist?
Not exactly, but he did say we met his needs very well. Problem is, after listening to the previous panel discussion, we met Jerry's needs, but not the needs of his executive team. Although, I'm not sure they know what those needs are, so how could I meet them? No offense, Mr. Rock.
Let's bring back our guests from Knowledge Advantage. Reggie and Dave, what's your take?
Mike's situation was not a fluke. We see it every day with sales teams across the globe.
So why is that?
Let's replay the scenario. The organizational leaders within Global Health are in chaos. The managers that report to them get sound bites on what is required to be successful. They, in turn, scramble to find solutions. Before you know it, everyone, inside and out of global health, is spending time and resources to come up with answers for problems that are not clearly understood.
Let me jump in here, Reggie, because this goes back to the so-called naked standards we discussed a few minutes ago. Without standards for making priorities, requirements, and criteria apparent, everyone is exposed. Executives expose the business to excessive financial risk associated with missing key goals. Staff and contributors are exposed to the costly inefficiencies of pursuing and patching failed directives, and poor guys like Mike are exposed to the risk of being commoditized as a result of there being no priority alignment nor clear requirements.
Okay, so if priority alignment and clear requirements is a form of getting naked, I wonder if Mike is afraid to get naked.
Very funny, Paula. But any decent salesperson knows what they need to do, and that is build trust, then add value. But they struggle with how to do it. Dave is highlighting the idea that standards help accelerate that trust so they can quickly add value. They're about making a salesperson's intuition intentional.
Well, let's bring Mike back. Mike, I'm curious. Help me understand if you have methods or tools that help you get naked. Down boy. Come on and get serious. Does your company provide you with any standards that would help Rock, and in turn, help you as well?
Let's see, I have a value proposition, an elevator pitch, lots of PowerPoints, implementation guides, and, well. Oh, I know. I did get some awesome training on our sales process.
That's not exactly what I had in mind. I believe your sales process is just that. Yours. It's about what you're doing to the customer. I was asking what you can do with the customer. A QuickBooks equivalent that you could have used with Rock and others within Global Health to help them collaborate, formulate, communicate, and execute their plans. I think I see a pattern here. Executives like Rock, and sellers like Mike, both need access to the same platform and set of standards to improve their individual and collective results.
Right on the money, Paula. Both Rock and Mike are operating without common standards. As a result, they are both working far harder than they should to meet their targets.
Interesting. Rock, does that hit home?
I get it. Common standards help me collaborate with my team, align strategically and act tactically. We can speak the same language, be on the same sheet of music, rock on.
Mike, your thoughts?
That's classic Rock. If we commit to the same standards, I'm sure you will see the value our capabilities bring, much more quickly, since we will have them aligned to your business priorities.
Once again a pattern here. Rock and Mike both win by using the same platform and standards. So, Dave and Reggie, it seems like common sense. Use fewer resources, spend less time, and get better results.
Paula, it is, in fact, just common sense. And Knowledge Advantage is the only company today offering an out-of-the-box platform to help executives like Rock and sales pros like Mike make it common practice every day with every dialogue.
Making common sense, common practice. That's a recipe for success you can take to the bank. Wally, back to you.
Once again, Paula, great job getting to the naked truth. Making common sense, common practice, is definitely a recipe for success. Our job at 2030 is to reveal the hidden truths facing business, marketing, and sales executives. Today's truth is, get naked or be exposed. Right now, what are you thinking? Can you relate to Rock or Mike? Are you working intuitively? Or are you working intentionally? Are you producing less than expected results? Get naked or be exposed. The choice is yours. I'm Wally Cronkite and this is 2030. Good night.